Good morning. It is the 15th of August 2019. Bitcoin dominance has risen overnight as alts have slid off, even as Bitcoin has slid off, which means that we better jump in and take a look at the charts on today's episode of the Cryptocurrency Bull Market Watch. Let's quickly slide by the disclaimer. This is just market observation, not trading advice. If you want trading recommendations and an education program, be sure to head over to intro-to-cryptos.ca. We're going to start off here today looking at Poloniex Bull Market Watch. And we've been watching the last while as prices came down to brand new lows. We're into all sorts of failed markets. Now things have moved up into a near fail status, but you can see that overnight we went from 43 markets in neutral status back down to 11 markets in neutral status. We went 30 markets have dropped back down into near fail status as Bitcoin dominance has come up. So altcoins have dropped down faster than Bitcoin was dropping, and we can see that here. When we look at what's going on in Binance, we can see a similar thing. Yesterday, we had 133 markets in neutral status. Now we're down to 89. So there's quite a significant number of them that slid down back into near fail and fail status, which means that they are not near finishing our 1, 2, 3 bottom. They're not turning around to give us the start of the bull trend. We need to see everything move up into neutral and then over into alert status. Once they're all moving into hold status, we know the bull market is actually here. So we're still suffering in the altcoins right now. Let's go take a look at the cover image to get a more clean example. You can see how much the bearishness has ticked right back up overnight. A big change. And the bullishness never got a chance to really step up. All of the neutral coins really slipped back. All of the neutral coins really slipped back. Pretty significant for altcoin holders, but how significant is it? Let's take a look at ADA. It slipped back a little bit, but it's still within the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's still neutral here in this time frame. If we just go over to EOS, it's still neutral. It's still within the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It hasn't turned down to new lows yet. If we go to Ethereum, it is still inside the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So it's actually helping us build a better 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that when it does break above that, it's going to be a much more certain turnaround. The 1, 2, 3 bottoms on the 1 hour time frame are pretty sketchy. You can see there's a fake out breakout. Everybody's excited, but it's too small of a 1, 2, 3 bottom to trade with certainty. It is very, very risky. Sometimes they turn off great, but more often than not, you've got to use your stop losses, and you're jumping in and out, spending all sorts of time monitoring the market. It's just a little too close, too zoomed in. We're whale food when we're trading in this kind of time frames. They are there to chew up those traders. Litecoin, same thing. We came back and tested these lows, but we have exhaustion wicks to the bottom. So this is nice, actually, that we've made these lows and setting ourselves up for a much more certain 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout. I'm liking it so far. Even though we've pulled back, it's all good. It's all setting up for these 1, 2, 3 formations so far. So if you had purchased in out of this 1, 2, 3, it's sketchy. Now you would have to be getting back out, getting back in, jumping back and forth. Waiting for the longer term time frame to flip is a better strategy. Here's one that wrecked a lot of traders, I'm certain, where we had this little 1, 2, 3 for a Ripple. It's just looking like it's taken off there and bam, just got hammered. And it's not showing the return much as the others. Now let's go back and go through the indicator set. And once I've gone through these, I will take your requests. Let me see, we've got Joseph here again. Good to have you along. And we'll definitely check XRP, but as you see, it took a whack, and it's going to be a while before that makes a bottom formation now. Oh, I got this in the wrong place. Not enough monitors here. What's up? BTC Contestos at Binos. Oh, COS/BTC. Sure, we'll take a check on those ones. Let's go through our indicators set now. So I'm set up on the 4 hour time frame. We see the RSI is up, but pulled back. It hasn't gone down to a big oversold territory here. I like that it's in the middle. If it starts ticking up from here as prices are coming up, that's probably going to support a takeoff. So in this time frame, I would expect that the RSI will not go too oversold by the time it gets up to be breaking these levels. So if it comes up, we'll watch the next few days to see that the RSI will stay below these levels even though the prices are breaking here. It should not go to a big overbought or overbought territory as it's breaking out of there. Otherwise, we're not going to be going up too high. So watching what this RSI is doing as this unfolds is going to be pretty important. Let's take a zoom in. I don't think we'll see much more different information on the longer term. I mean, the shorter term, but we do have a double bottom here and a little bit higher. So there is a bit of a divergence. Let's go on to the on balance volume, see what's going on. On balance, it's pretty good. Like this is buying, not as much, but pretty close. And then it's easing off here, but that's all okay. Zoom in a little bit and we can see where we had the buying on the move up here. A little bit of buying, not as much. And good amount of buying here, but again, not as much. So the fade off is actually kind of predictable by the divergence in the on balance volume. But I'm still watching now. I don't think these are going to go down from here. And I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Being wrong is not a mistake in trading. You can actually expect to be wrong more often than right. So get your risk control rules practiced up. So here we are. It's crossover to the negative and fading, right? We haven't seen these histograms pull up a little bit. So it's not showing me strength right out of here, but it's the RSI and everything is not showing me the weakness I was. So now that we have the crossover at the top, it's pulled back and getting very close together. Should this cross and go positive, I think that these are stabilizing here and we'll get a nice trading signal on the breakout. We'll see how that plays out for sure. Now, I've got renewed vigor and renewed interest in the Ichimoku cloud. It's proven itself when I was doubting it, and so I'll have to pay attention to it now. Here we are, it's crossed through, it's crossed positive, we've got a twist to the positive, all those things are positive. It hasn't crossed negative yet. So I do feel that these markets are, even though they've pulled back and there's been a little bit of fear involved in it, I don't think that this is going to be continuing on the downtrend. We'll have to watch these. I like that, it's looking good. Let's go through the indicator set for EOS now on the 4-hour time frame. We had the divergence as it was coming down here. It's setting up. We've got the exhaustion wicks. The RSI is pulled back, but it's got lower lows, so it needs more time to mature. This one isn't looking as good as ADA right off the bat. Now it's not so bad. I like what this RSI is doing on the 1-hour time frame. This is the first stage of it. And as it's starting to build from there and crossing these levels, we'll have advanced warning things are coming. Maybe even a springboard trade entry out of this area. It's a little early, but a small trade, it's okay. Then we've got another level that should it break above that level and create a support above it, we are good. This is really good for EOS. Clear that off and go on to the next indicator. EOS, looking at the on balance volume on the 4-hour time frame, lots of dumping there, much more than ADA. Moving in, still pretty consistent dumping here. But the dumping was less, and I like that these are exhaustion wicks. While we got a little bit of a green thing coming in here. Not definitive yet, but again, a break above this level right here would be a place to start considering it. Let's go to EOS on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, this is negative. We've got a crossover of the MACD indicator on the 4-hour time frame, and not looking good there. On the 1-hour time frame, it's less bad, but still not good. It hasn't crossed positive yet. So it gives us time. We have time to watch this unfold and verify with these indicators that this should be turning positive. The RSI should be turning up positive as we're crossing these levels. So we've got a couple different things that'll help us. Let's go into EOS, 4-hour time frame, Ichimoku cloud. Drag this over so we can see the rest of the cloud. It is twisted positive. This is positive. This is positive. Okay, those are all positive things. And I'm liking the Ichimoku cloud a lot more. It's proven me wrong in that it was right, and now I'm paying much more attention to it again. I'm not going to take it off the list now, but if you have a different indicator you'd like to see me go over, ooh. Well, hope XRP goes up there for you, Joseph. We'll get into detail on XRP here shortly. EOS. Let's jump into Ethereum now on the 4-hour time frame. 1, 2, 3. They're on the 1-hour time frame, and it broke higher and has pulled back sharply and given us a nice new number 3 point. I like the RSIs giving us higher lows on this. This looks pretty good for Ethereum, and I wasn't as bullish on Ethereum earlier as this chart looks good. How about the 1-hour time frame? Okay, so it took a big dump here. I can't wait to see the on-balance volume, and it's came down again, but it's held on both of those. So we kind of have a lower low. I'd like to ignore the wicks most of the time for doing trend lines. And the RSI is stronger. So there are a couple points in the RSI now already looking like it's setting up for us. Let's go on to the next indicator for Ethereum on the 4-hour time frame. So we have a little bit of buying, a little bit of buying. This doesn't give me the confidence that the RSI did. Now going into the 1-hour time frame, big selling, less selling, but still there's not enough turnaround into the buying yet. And maybe, of course, that will manifest and it'll start to show up as prices are starting to break above these levels where we could actually take a trade signal from the 1, 2, 3 formations. And it would be kind of a springboard trade entry where we would be jumping in off of this rather than waiting for the full 1, 2, 3 formation to shape up. And even then we would look for an entry, and if it broke above there, we would look for either an entry here, wait for it to pull back, and then get on afterwards. So all of those retests are really key. Let's jump into Ethereum on the 4-hour time frame. I'm getting the hang of this now. The MACD, like the other two, is crossing over on the 4-hour time frame and not switching to positive yet. Let's zoom into the 1-hour time frame. This is kind of more positive, but not so much yet. Okay, this one still has more time for us to wait and watch, and it'll manifest itself. Ethereum on the 4-hour time frame for Ichimoku Cloud, not as bullish as the other ones. I like to see that it's confirming what the indicators are telling us all the way along, and the Ichimoku Cloud comes along and says, yeah, that's the way it is. Good. In the 1-hour time frame, okay, it's already poked down here. It's not turned around enough for us to do anything. So Ethereum is good, not bad yet, but not action. It's in the gray zone. Don't touch. Just wait. Let's go to Litecoin now on the 4-hour time frame. A better little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation setting up here. I like what the RSI is doing. Not a buy signal yet, but we have those 2 exhaustion wicks, the same as we had in what? Was that Ethereum or EOS? No, that was EOS that had those 2 exhaustion wicks. Much like Litecoin. Very much like Litecoin. Wow. All right, let's go on more with Litecoin. I'll zoom in on the closer time frame so we can see these exhaustion wicks making a bit of a triangle, the very same RSI pattern. So that's pretty cool. Is it a buy signal? Not quite yet. Let's see. Where's my scribbler? Much the same as Ethereum, we'd be waiting for some of these ranges to start building a position. A swing trader, you may just start putting on a bit of your trade right now just because it's bouncing off of these levels and showing some resistance. A swing trader could start off their trade right here. Let's zoom in to the next indicator set for Litecoin. We're onto the 4-hour time frame. Buying, more selling. It just like Ethereum, not really giving it to me right now. Not yet. It's got some good buying coming up here. But it's eased off too much. So by the time it gets up to these levels, we're going to see the buying. We're going to see the RSI confirming. And let's go see what the MACD indicator is saying for Litecoin. I'm not expecting much different. Here again, we've got a negative cross in the 4-hour time frame, but the histogram is different here. It is more, it's a little bit negative, but it's more flattening out, which is the first thing you need for a turnaround. In the 1-hour time frame, it is holding flat, so a cross above would be really good. Let's go on to Litecoin, 4-hour time frame, Ichimoku Cloud, not positive enough. It's got a twist to the positive. The blue hasn't crossed strongly above the red. The green line went through, but then it's pulled back, so more waiting. Really, more waiting for this one as well. There's all of these so far are not giving us a signal to act on yet. Let's go on to the 3 month, the 4 hour time frame. Clear that off. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up. That it hasn't broken lower is really important. That the RSI is still showing higher lows all along here is really important. That's a nice divergence. Let's go zooming in a little bit. The RSI is doing kind of that same formation we saw in ADA and EOS and Litecoin, but not enough. It's got to mature more here. It's okay. We got a number 1. We've got a number 2. This would be our number 3, but we also have a number 1, 2, 3 formation setting up here in the number 3 point. So if it breaks above that, that's now we're starting to build our nested 1, 2, 3s for TRX. That would be pretty cool. As those nested 1, 2, 3s start to fill out, that would get to be a nice bullish signal. Let's go into the 4 hour time frame, looking at the on balance volume selling, a little bit of buying, selling, not really giving the buying turnaround yet. So another one that if it starts to mature that bottom and break above these levels, we'll see the volume coming along with it. And that should help us know that it's going to be a breakout and not a fake out breakout. Now, what are we at now? The 1 hour time frame. Let's go into Tron. 4 hour time frame, much the same as the others, where we have a negative crossover in the 4 hour time frame, but we're getting kind of a divergence, a little bit of a positive crossover in the 1 hour time frame. Alrighty, let's go to the Ichimoku Cloud for TRX on the 4 hour time frame. Not good yet. Not setting up. We have more time for wait for this. Even on the 1 hour time frame, it's hangout. Nothing to do here. Move along. Nothing to do here. We'll just move along then. Well, let's go on to Ripple. Ripple really did a nasty blast down there. Has it recovered enough? Let's go to the 4 hour time frame. So we're looking at the same thing. Well, we do have RSI a little bit higher here, so maybe that was just a panic spike down and somebody fat fingered it. But usually that is pretty freaky. Many times I've seen the big skewer down, prices come up, and I say, okay, I hold, and then the prices slide after that. There's no guarantee one way or the other what it's going to do, but I would be recommending reducing or removing your position should it break below these levels, just for risk control, because we don't know how far it can go down. I was holding some of this at 9,000 Satoshi and thinking, oh, that's the bottom. And look where it is now. It's like 2,700 Satoshi. It's come down, cut massive from that where I was holding some. So there's no way to know right now out of this bounce, but as this matures one way or the other, there's action points to be taking. Now let's go into Ripple on the on balance volume. We should see a big spike of selling. Now when we zoom in on this, does that big spike of selling immediately ease off? Yes. So it was a 1 moment bunch of selling and things have evened off afterwards. So that is less bad than if it was steady selling. This could be somebody fat fingering. And I don't know, it's a way bigger finger than I've got, but it could be. As it's weakening off, I don't want it. And it's not a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation turnaround that I could have traded. So if you're trading the 1, 2, 3s on this short time frame, 1, 2, 3, you have to start off with, say I had $100. At this point, I could only put in 10 of my dollars on this trade. And then I only hold it if it proves me correct, assuming that on the 1 hour time frame, you get killed so often that you've got to start off super nervous. This is really risky. So a little bit is okay, because then as it goes higher, you've got some protection to put on a bigger trade afterwards, right? You're throwing out the mattress onto the ground floor, then you jump out of the second floor window onto the mattress. So you got a little bit of cushion at least. So start off with small trades out of these bottom formations. When they start manifesting out of the 12-hour time frame, that's the point for Nitro. Maybe the 4-hour time frame, but never on the 1 hour time frame. Always small trades, always start these off small and then add on when you're correct. The risk control rules are more important than your entries and exits. Now, if we go into the crossover here in the 4-hour time frame, we have that same negative crossover as the others. Even though we've got this setting up nice, it'll actually turn into a much nicer buy signal. If this turns and crosses over, then we're going to have the bullish setup where we've crossed negative and we've crossed where it's higher. That would be a bullish setup for all of these ones that have the 4-hour flaring negative right now and the 1-hour holding flat or doing a little positive crossover. So that 4-hour could manifest, go back for all of these coins. This could really manifest into a really nice signal. And I'm certain that it'll happen nearly the time that this is breaking out. And if it does it just before, even more power to this breakout, should it break out that way. I'm not a big fan of Ripple for the future right now. I think that their supply is set up in such a way as to keep the price of the individual coins low. That way the banks don't have to worry about fluctuating costs in Ripple when they're doing their big transfers of whatever they're doing. Who knows? But because of the supply of Ripple, I really want to see it turn around and go the other way before I'm jumping into it. It's just not the same as Bitcoin and Litecoin. Even Doge, I would give more to. As a long-term world economy new money system. And I think those will be different gradients. We'll see how that turns out in the long term. 4-hour time frame, the Ichimoku cloud is not giving us anything. It didn't go through at all. So some of the others looked much better in the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud than Ripple. And here again, it's not giving us much of anything. We really need time for this to mature now before it can give us a signal one way or the other. It's sort of just floating along sideways, which is a real bummer. So that wraps us up through the 6 pretty quickly here. If you guys have any other coins you want me to take a look at, I'm happy to. I've gone through everything on Binance and I've gone through everything on Poloniex to update the bull market watch. And now we're going into more detail to update the crypto alerts package so that we have target entries, profit targets, stop losses set for all of these markets. And you can see that we got into some of these that are still holding a little bit negative, a little bit down. We'll have to watch and see. This one is not triggered yet. It's still an alert. There are some really fantastic trades setting up here. And if you're interested in learning more about the trading plan, be sure to go over to introtocryptos.ca, sign up for the free chapter that gives you our core trading plan. And of course, come over and join us on Discord where you will be able to chat with us about cryptocurrencies all day and all night long. Let me now find that live chat again for the... So we did XRP, COS. Let's go check that one out. This is a new one to me as well. So filter by BTC, get rid of my favorites. COS. And I think this is such a new coin, it's really hard to do technical analysis on, except that in this market condition, it is higher lows. It gave us, I would call this a springboard pattern, more than a 1, 2, 3. And because it's new and it's taking off, it's got some volume. You could put 10. I would treat this one as dangerous as we were looking at Ripple earlier on a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation out of a 1-hour time frame. Super dangerous, super quick for it to go up and slam back down. Who knows? And so again, if I had $100, I could only put on 10 here. It would have to prove me correct. And how? Well, by going up after I buy it. If it was come back and retest this old level, it would give me my Nitro place and I could add on a bigger position, even though we don't have any history in it. Just because I have a little bit of profit off of the $10 I put in here and it comes back and consolidates, I could put on $20 on top of that now. But again, it's staging into those trades. And other than that, I would have to do some research about what this coin does. What is its unique value proposition? Some of these markets already have quite large usership, so that would be a part of it as well. Let's go on now. And good to have you along again. That total BS, the price is low because professional scale dumping by Ripple. Yeah, it could be major dumping by Ripple. And the way I trade, I look at the chart patterns and I do not enough fundamental analysis. So I don't go out and read news articles. They're usually written by professional writers who are paid to write something. Here, write something about this. Okay. Here, you give me $10, I'll write you 200 words. I don't really follow the news too much. The chart tells it all, likely before the news. Have to disagree on this one. Well, it could be, and I don't know. But the chart pattern tells it all. Eventually, it's all in the chart. XLM. XXXLM. 1 year view. So, according to the simple trading plan, which has done me well over the years, it's not done its downtrend yet. Now, according to the simple trading plan, for my own part, I traded this market poorly because I saw this huge triangle setting up. And as it broke higher, I was seeing it going to 9,000. I was all over it. This is going to be the biggest move we've ever seen. And as it came back, I didn't follow my own trading plan. And I didn't respect that crossover. Should have got out of everything. And now we know more about the pissing off the roof pattern. Once a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation has failed, let's get rid of that. Once the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation has proven itself and I put my stop loss above my entry, it comes back and kicks me out. I want to FOMO back in. But as that exponential moving average crosses over here on the, what is this? 1 daily view, should be out of that trade and be flipping to negative. Flipping to negative. So here again, as we had the 1, 2, 3 formation setting up, 1, 2, 3, I was all over it. I was in there. Put my stop loss above my entry. As it came over and crossed over again, you just got to get out and actually go short, because we're getting that pissing off the roof formation. Pissing off the roof formation. This is the Crypto Snipers formation name. He spoke of that. I was watching one of his videos and he was talking about copper. Copper had done a bottom formation breakout and then down it went big time. World economy is easing off when copper is coming down. Let's zoom into the 12-hour time frame. Still, there's not going to be a trading signal all the way along. Look at this. We had our 12-hour exponential moving average crossover, says, go short, my son. Down, nothing to do. It came up and didn't cross over. Nothing to do. Hold that short. Keep your stop loss back for these trends. Now, of course, we're looking for the trend to change directions and go the other way, and it will, I think. But again, I'm a little bit less bullish on this market in its possibility because they started paying out what they called inflationary dividends, I think it was. Inflation happens with the Canadian dollar and the US dollar because they just keep printing more of them. And so the value of every dollar goes down. This is what inflation is. The value of the dollar is going down, 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 down as they're printing more and more and more of them. And so they started giving out these inflationary bonuses, and I understand it's only for a short period of time, but until that's done, they are expanding the supply of these coins, and I'm not so keen on this market anymore. Same as Ripple, the supply problem. And I could be wrong. And you know what? If it makes a 1, 2, 3 and the exponential moving averages cross over, I don't care about that, my opinion about whatever it's supposed to be doing. I'll trade the pattern. And this is why I do these live streams, so that I am practicing my own trading pattern, so that I'm telling my own subconscious what to do when these trades actually happen. A lower high every time, many people will sell the spike. There's more trading methods than there are people trading. And so you got to find a trading method that makes sense in your head and practice it and repeat it over and over and over again. If you're learning self-defense, it doesn't matter. If you learn karate or taekwondo or judo or jiu-jitsu or boxing or tai chi or verbal self-defense de-escalation skills, whatever you're learning, practice it so that when the situation comes up, you're ready for it and it's spontaneous and you don't think about it. So when a pilot is learning how to fly a plane, they are starting to look for all of the reasons, or they practice all of the things that could go wrong. And they practice it over and over and over again. So if they're coming in for a landing and you get a crosswind hits that jet, the pilot doesn't think about what he should do next. He just automatically hits the rudders and the flaps and everything automatically. As smoothly as the wind is hitting the plane, he is already reacting and readjusting. Same thing if somebody pushes you from the side, you automatically readjust and you don't fall over because you move your feet and what have you. We've practiced that enough. So with the trading, we've got to practice it all ahead of time in our mind, write it all out so that when it actually comes up, you're ready for it. And then, even then, it may take a few market cycles to really get your trading system working. And it's been difficult in the altcoins to be trading my own trading plan because it trades off the bottom formation and then gets you out. Trades the bottom formation, it's killer in these markets because there's no way to short it. You just got to keep waiting, and eventually they'll hit that bottom and we'll be able to start trading this way. So if there's any other markets you want me to go through, put them up in the chat. I'll be happy to go through them. Let's take a look at a few that are just going by that I'm interested in. We're looking at the 12-hour time frame. So these are the markets that are most interesting to me. There are only a few of them. Look at this, June 26th, July 10th. What's the date there? We'll say the 8th of August. So we've got these three key points, and this held a bottom here, hardly went lower. Now we have higher lows. We've got our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation set up. We've got a nice bowl shape setting up here. And I know that if we go into the indicator set underneath this chart, it will start showing us RSI is going along with it. How did this get in here? AGI. On balance volume, look at this. Beautiful, 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 all the way along. There are some alts that are setting up phenomenally, but there's only a few of them that have that meet this requirement. Most of them have gone down lower and lower and lower here instead of holding the bottom and holding a higher bottom. This is really important. I think the other one that is crazy like that isn't even on this exchange. It's KuCoin. Look at this. Holding its bottoms, holding its bottoms, holding its bottoms. This is really bullish. Out of this huge bottom formation, here's a bonus for you guys who are watching this stream. This isn't something we normally cover. This is normally something that would only be for our alerts subscribers, but this is a bonus for you. So if you jump in on this trade and you kill it on this trade, I can't tell you if it's really going to go up. I think it is. It looks like it is. It is all the chart patterns. This is your gimme. This could be your ticket into our trading alerts package in our trading community right here. Let's go back to Binance and take a look at a few. OMG and ICX took a big hit. How was ICF up 60% yesterday on Huobi? Oh, I don't know. There are so many different ways to measure these that I measure it against Bitcoin. That's it. A lot of people measure against US dollar, and I don't measure against US dollar until I'm going to sell it and like send money home. Because I don't think the US dollar is going to go up to $1 million each. But I think Bitcoin is going to. So I want to trade altcoins in a way that it's going to grow my Bitcoin. So if it's not going to grow my Bitcoin, I don't want to trade the alt. I don't want to get in on these little wee 1, 2, 3 bottom formations on the 1 hour time frame and be jumping in and out. I overtrade. For my own part, I overtrade and I end up losing money. Little chips here, little chips there, and I spend so much time at it. It causes so much stress, and it's so much easier and it works so much better to wait for the 4 hour time frame exponential moving average crossover, or even better, more reliable is the 12 hour. It's just that you have to wait for it. There's nothing to do except go into stable coin right here, not into altcoins. And then we can be watching for when to get back out of stable coin and back into the cryptos. So let me see, let me go take a look at OMG and ICX. I. Okay, let's do ICX. Which one was that? ICX. Get rid of my favorite. So now we have ICXF. Yeah, a little bit of a move. Not much. So if it only happened on one exchange, it's probably manipulation. It could be a mistake by some trader who just, fat fingered it. When we go to ICX Bitcoin, it is giving us a 1, 2, 3. It's holding its place here. On the 4-hour time frame, not bad. It's got some pretty good volume buying coming in. As that exponential moving average crosses over and it's breaking above this 1, 2, 3, it's the place to start staging in a bit of your trade, because we know that once these things start to trend, should they start to trend, it just keeps going. It just keeps trending once we get it to trend. But for now, we're still in all down, right? It's all been down. There's been no trend reversal big enough to sink our teeth into. And even when there was a trend reversal big enough to sink our teeth into, it's imperative to get your stop loss above your entry right away, and also to pay attention to that exponential moving average crossover, because we just finished a 1, 2, 3 breakout. And if that fails, we're pissing off the roof. It's going down, down, down more. The failure of that is another trading signal that most of us can't trade because it is a short position. All you can do is get out and wait. But if you had gotten out here and said, okay, I'm not doing that, it's not going up, it's not going to grow my Bitcoin, I'm going back to Bitcoin, you would have been sitting pretty. You're doing good. You've got way more Bitcoin now to be considered to buying into this. So there is no hurry to get back in and out of these. Let's go back over, just before I finish it up here, I'm going to go to the Poloniex Bull Market Watch. You can get access to this spreadsheet for Poloniex and Binance by becoming a patron, and there is a link down below. So just $15 a month, you get this data. We spend the time doing this update every single day, so you can just log in and take a look, and you'll know where things are. And this is what you may have seen me show through this before. I started doing this in September because I wanted a visual graphic way to demonstrate this trading system. I've used it. It worked good for me. I've been practicing it since 1995. I started practicing this trading system. And it's worked well in the altcoins. Phenomenal. But most people don't get the big picture. So I wanted to put this data together so that you can visually get that picture in your mind of how this works. So if you're holding Bitcoin this whole time and only putting it into alts when they pass yellow and go into green, you're not jumping. Look at how little we had to jump in and out of this. We waited for the 12-hour exponential moving average to cross over, and that's when the tide is moving in our direction. We're going to see that coming up again, but right now you can see it's all negative, all negative. We had a little spat of coming up to nearly positive there, but then down we went again as Bitcoin cracked up higher. Now that Bitcoin's eased off, we'll have to see what is actually going to happen. We're going to be coming out of these gray areas, and we're going to have more gray, and it's going to start turning into yellow as we go. And that's going to give us the warning that things are coming. Until then, don't hurry in. There's no hurry. Really. Either be in stablecoin or in Bitcoin. And then when these cross over, we're ready to go. For me, the same. I want more BTC, but crazy how a spike like that could happen. Does it mean he cleared the order book? Yes, a spike like that would mean that. What exchange was that again on Huobi? Oh, yeah. So this means that Huobi just has so little trading volume that any kind of size of a trade just scoops up everything in the order book. There's just not enough orders in the order book on this to prevent massive moves from happening. So a whale already knows this. I wouldn't. It is the folly of trading the small time frames. It is the folly of trading light liquidity markets that don't have enough liquidity. There's just not enough money in the markets to absorb everybody's desires of trades this way and that. So when somebody puts in a big trade, not only does somebody get it going, but then the bots all notice it and everybody's jumping in. And since the other markets haven't gone up, this one gets sold down automatically by the arbitrage bots. And so we have risk control rules that I teach for people who are taking our alerts program. Be sure to come in and check that out, because it helps you understand how to filter out these kind of spikes so that they're no longer killing you. For certain, I wouldn't be trading ICX versus Ethereum on this market. It just doesn't have the liquidity. Even look at this on versus Bitcoin. Huobi doesn't have the liquidity to handle what's going on. So if we go back to Binance and look at the very same market, nothing at all the same, completely different. I wouldn't be trading that market on Huobi. It doesn't have the liquidity. Look at this, completely different. Are we on the same time frame? Yeah. So don't be trading on Huobi. Get off of there. Whatever market that is. So the risk control rules are there to help you against the expected mistakes that'll come up in the market. They're there to protect you against the unexpected mistakes that come up in the market. And the risk control rules should protect you from the unexpectable things that come up in the market. Things that you can't expect. You could never even dream that they're going to come up. You have to have risk control rules that are going to protect your butt all the way through all those things. And I lost all my money more than once before I learned these risk control rules that I teach. I guess that about wraps it up. Has anybody else got a request of a market you'd like me to go through that covers our big six? Nothing to do in all of them. They're looking good. For me, they're all looking good. That they're coming into positions. If I go back into the 4-hour time frame, they're building the 1, 2, 3 bottoms. So while they're building, I'll wait for the construction to be finished. Then we can move in on a trade. Aside from that, we'll wrap it up here for today, and we'll tune in for tomorrow. I'm not liking Ripple. TRX is, I couldn't do a trade in this one. I couldn't even go short because it's down too low. I only want to go short off of those failed 1, 2, 3s. Maybe that is a failed 1, 2, 3. So anyway, I think that things are all shaping up. This is a normal building of the turnaround, and we'll see things build over the next week, over the next 5 days, as these come up and start to break higher. And I appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't already, come and join our free Discord group. And if you're new to trading and you want to understand the system that I use on all of my trades in every different market, go over to intro-to-cryptos.ca, sign up on the homepage, and download the free chapter from my book. It is the core trading plan that we use. And so if you're just new to trading, you're just learning this stuff, you don't have money to buy the course, then that's why I do these videos, is to help you see this trading plan over a long term, to get the big picture in your mind. So when you have that big picture and you understand how all the pieces work together, it gives you the confidence to know when to get in and know when to get out. And you just do it because that's what the plan says. And then you'll see it manifest afterwards and you go, wow, look at that. It's pretty cool. So cheers. Thanks again. And I will see you on the next episode tomorrow. And we'll check in again to see what our big six are doing and any of the requests that you have. To finish off now, I will bring up our special that is going on for the next couple days, where you can get 50% off the Crypto Alerts package. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.